What's happening right now? We are currently with a. I should probably turn a show on in the background to make this less awkward. Talking in a extremely quiet environment right here. Here we go. I don't know what's on right now. Looks like some sort of action film with a guy hauling a case of dynamite down the interstate. Yeah, it's. You gotta begrudgingly respect the fact that I continue to trickle these out to the internet. I feel like I'm yelling into the void right now, but we soldier on. And speaking of soldiering, if you want to be killing it in a battle we call life, you're going to want to fuel your body with Onnit. Use the code word sugar pills for a free kettlebell training routine, something similar to what Zangief would use if he were a real man and not a cartoon warrior. You gotta respect that hairdo. He's a white Mr. T. I was watching Roadhouse today, which is about it's a seminal classic about Patrick Swayze and karate. But a cool-headed here's a synopsis from IMDb if you want it. Got a cool-headed bouncer with a NYU philosophy degree. There's no reason for it at all. The film never really references it. You're like, oh, he's learned and kicking ass. Ladies, fucking line up for some of this. And he's hired to calm down an extra rowdy Midwestern town. Not one of those like reasonably rowdy Midwestern towns. They're like, we don't need karate justice yet. You haven't eventually reached extra rowdy critical mass? Fucking come on in. And there's some evil rich guy, and he wants to extort this bar for some reason. They don't really tell. They're just like, I'm evil, and I want to fucking take over your bar, so give it to me. And even though it's the Midwest and, you know, someone doesn't, rather than shooting them up, they're like, no, we have to solve this in an epic karate battle. So, they really don't explain why no one wants to use guns. They start sort of using guns in the end, but they usually just wave them at them and go, oh, I'm about to use this. Oh, like a lot of threats. It's like Kim Jong-un, basically. Oh, I'm gonna fucking do it. Don't make me do it. And the climactic battle scene with the evil guy is in the guy's trophy room. So there's like 9,000 trophies. It's basically like he's cleared out the entire Serengeti. There's every type of animal, even some that don't exist. There's he's like, I've killed animals that I genetically created them just to kill them. So yeah, in the Jurassic Park lab. And one of the guy's henchmen, a stuffed bear, and you can look this up on YouTube, a stuffed bear starts to fall onto the guy. And rather than moving out the way, he starts to shoot at it, like suddenly magically stop it using bullets. So I really don't have a point there. I'm just saying this guy's a fucking idiot. And he's like, oh, the bear's gonna get me, ooh, and then he falls on him. And he has to watch as this evil rich man comes and fucking tries to battle Patrick Swayze, who's a karate master. And he has a problem fighting, and he fights in a blouse. He's wearing his finest blouse for the main event, like he has aspirations of being a swashbuckler. And it's white, so you can see the blood soaking, and know where he's been injured, so you can continually attack that area. So really strong wardrobe choice from fucking Swayze on that one. And so Ronda Rousey is going to be remaking Roadhouse, so right after that fight with Amanda Nunes yesterday, I don't know how well that's going to go over. I think in the new Roadhouse, the evil guy will just be like, you know what, I'm going to hire this extremely built Brazilian lady to beat you up. She's like, you know what, fucking have the bar, have yourselves a good day, and fucking see you later. It'll probably end the movie pretty quick. UFC talk, there we go. So Roadhouse was followed by Street Fighter, which, it's the fucking worst thing ever made. It's Raul Julia, not his finest hour.
This money isn't worth the paper it's printed on.
On the contrary, every bison dollar will be worth 5 British pounds. For that is the exchange rate the Bank of England will set once I've kidnapped their queen.
It's basically him wearing a giant cape and shoulder pads from one of those like power suits that women would wear in the 1980s. And he's an evil dictator with his own money. So he's another movie with an evil rich guy. We've all learned that money equals evil. Oh shit. So what happens is one of the worst parts of this movie is the fact that everybody addresses each other by their fucking names from the game, so you know which person the character is. It's really a lot of fun. You're like, hey Ken. I don't like your brash American ways. Whatever, Ryu. I don't like the fact that Japan took over automotive manufacturing from America.
How the hell they do it?
The entire movie, they're doing that in unnatural amounts of exposition. Like, literally, old supervillains would do. Hey, man, I was a boxer, but I was thrown out of boxing for being evil. Boxer, I'm a boxer. It's like, alright, fuck. And then, like, E Honda's like, I was gonna be a sumo. I'm the finest sumo that is ever sumoed. And you're like, okay, you know what? Fucking kids are watching this, but kids aren't, like, fucking idiots.
They think I'm slow, eh?
It's the same problem comic book movies have a lot. It's like they don't know which market they're really aiming for, so they often, like, explain all this origin story shit for some reason. And it's like, we get it. Like, oh, we don't need another fucking Batman scene where his parents are shot. Like, I think you're pretty familiar now with that story, and if you're not, I don't know where you've been. Like, why is Batman angry all the time? Why can't he just enjoy his money? Why can't he just ride a jet ski down the bay, make love, enjoy a nice Nescafe? This makes no sense at all. It's like, oh, his parents were brutally murdered. Oh, is that so? Well, they should have reiterated that for Nana.
They think I'm slow, eh?
Never really particularly enjoyed the club. It didn't make any sense to me at all to really be going to that club. I'd hear about people getting on in rap songs and be like, I can't really relate to this. Like, you know what I mean? Remember the Fat Man Scoop Crooklyn Clan, you know? Who fucking tonight? Like, who fucking tonight? That's the worst Fat Man Scoop. Who fucking tonight? That's a better Fat Man Scoop. I always get, like, I'd throw my hands up for that part and I'd be like, no, I'm gonna get called out. They'd be like, he ain't fucking tonight. And then I have to sheepishly drop my hands and then make my way out in silence. So that's why I don't raise my hands for the who fucking tonight part. That song was weird. They're like, get a $100 bill, put your hands up. It's like, yeah, that's not really a big fucking deal to have $100 in currency. Like, that's pretty much an achievable goal for anyone. Oh, who got a reasonable amount of money in the bank? If you ever find someone who's into you, I'd usually have my dance floor game on, so I'd be grinding my boner against somebody, and then, like, awkwardly trying to transition to conversation right after that, you know what I mean? It's like, hey, if you'd like to meet the guy behind the boner, let's step over here for a second, let's do a little chit-chatteroo. But at that point, you know, you've already established yourself as the boner man, and there's no really, first boner is an everlasting impression, you know what I mean? It's a pop-up event. I know hipsters like pop-ups. That's something. Next time you're erect in the club, just go, look at this pop-up event right here. And then everybody will gather around and go, ooh, I heard is this an exclusive shop? You'd be like, no, it's my dick.
Wah wah penis, wah wah penis.
And they go, oh, you're a master wordsmith. And then hopefully you get laid.
Hey, everybody, we're all gonna get laid.
Extra. Read the news. Podcast news. Turn that shit down. This is breaking news.
You're not allowed.
Cocks.
You're not allowed.
Farts.
I'm not saying a
Things
word.
of that nature. No.
No.
Remember, we were in Vegas. No big deal. And we were like just chugging Pedialyte. Like it's a miracle beverage. Like every single, drugstore's just got massive end display, multiple flavors of Pedialyte. There's like, cherry, grape, rock and raspberry, the whole fucking blend. And meanwhile, when you get back here to Canada, we have to settle for like one flavor, like classic vanilla or whatever. I don't know what it is. And it's like super hard to find, like hide it, to make you feel like a real fucking scumbag.
This fucker said I don't know, and like over 4,000 times in this podcast.
And this lady's like, hey, what are you taking the Pedialyte here for? I'm like, oh, something's wrong with our baby. She's like, really? What's wrong? And we're like, I don't know, our baby's hungover. Like, we're just describing symptoms of being hungover. Really nauseous. Was on the floor to wash him last night. You guys are fucking awful parents. Yes, we are. Yes, we are, miss. And we'd appreciate if you stop judging us and don't contact child services, because those fucking guys show up all the time and they're always like, this is abuse. And we're like, who are you to judge, sir? Judge not yet lest ye be judged. I believe those were famous words from, I don't know, probably God.
I'm God.
Probably etched on a stone tablet somewhere. I'm not able to confirm nor deny. There's no evidence of that. There's a lot of stuff like that in the Bible. Oh yeah, like that was, oh, I don't know why I'm segueing into this, but I was reading about Pastafarianism yesterday, and that's the religion, or I guess the atheist thing, where they worship a giant flying spaghetti monster, because they're like, well, you know, fucking, it's as valid as any other religion, you know, there's no evidence needed, so you can just put this out there. So they worship basically a giant spaghetti and meatballs beast that hovers in the air, and they're like, yeah, and we've got, like, our heaven's got a volcano that spews beer and a stripper factory, and you're like, that's how nerdy you are when you think a stripper factory is a heaven. Oh, women that won't talk to us unless it's for money. Wow, I've truly reached Xanadu. It's like, hey guys, you don't have to necessarily pay women to interact with you. And then I see like a meetup of one of their sermons, and it's like, oh god, it's like a lot of people who are really good at Quake. Virtual me, my Warcraft character's leveled the fuck up, and it's like, dude, have you shaved in like 4 days? No, I don't need to do I don't know why I said 4 days is some arbitrary. That's quite a reasonable amount of time to not shave, especially given the price of razors, which is fucking quite out there. Like, we went to Dollarama to buy razors, and that was a terrible idea. I think it would have been like less bloody to shotgun blast the hairs off my face. I'm just like hemorrhaging blood. I'm like, oh no, what a fucking one rusty blade. Each of our blades is pre-rusted for your use. Thanks, guys. So I don't, like, you can't really skimp on that kind of product. That's one of those things you got to kind of go all in with the price. You got to go fucking pay for quality. Like, Dollarama also sells condoms. I don't know, if you can't afford legit condoms, you can't afford the baby that you will have using those condoms. They should even, I was just like, you know, at the clinics or whatever, they'll actually give you free condoms. They've got like a basket of them. Like, I was down there doing, you know, testing or something. I don't know. I was down there being a good Samaritan, handing out brochures, and yeah, this guy, this like teenage kid comes in and he's like, gotta get ready for the weekend, and then he like takes like 20 condoms. I'm like, there's just no way you're gonna fucking, there's you're jerking off in all of these. There's no fucking way you're gonna be able to, yeah, you know how it is, I'm out there fucking. It's just women, she can't resist me. And he's got his like Zoo York shirt, and he's like, it's like New York, but it's a zoo out there, shit gets a little wild.